Everybody, how you doing today? My morning's gone pretty well so far. Um, it's a bit. Yesterday it was so beautiful. Today it's a bit cloudy, but I guess I can't complain too bad. Okay. 1 second. Unity is not loading for me right now. I think it's almost there. Finishing up. And a bit of a pre-stream snack. I had some Greek yogurt with lime. It was actually really good. Definitely recommend that flavor. Yogurt's one of my favorite foods in general, though, so maybe I'm a bit biased. Okay, here it comes. Let's see. All right, let's switch over. All right, hi again, everybody. Oh, hey, Alfie Gamer, good to see you here so early. I hope maybe this time's better for you. I don't know. I haven't seen you in a bit, but good to see you. Let's see. Oh yeah, so we're just gonna wait for a C# to load. Sometimes that can take a bit. And today, we're gonna try and finish up the audio system. So yeah, we've done most audio sources. I think hopefully we'll be able to finish up audio mixers today. Is it done loading it? Nope, still thinking. Yeah, it has been a while. Good to see you. Recently, actually, just yesterday, I switched to this morning time, so hoping it's a little bit more like my original stream time, so maybe I'll see some old time viewers there now too. But all right, so I'm trying to remember how far I got last time. Okay, I guess I disabled all the testing code. Oh, actually, no, I was testing to make sure that the audio sources switched mixer groups. Okay, I guess I did take out that code. Let's look. Oh, it is commented. Okay. But anyway, we're going to be working on audio mixers today. Okay, yeah, that is a better time. Be right back. Okay, Hoffy Gamer, I'll see you when you get back. Let's see. So right now the audio mixer, we just can get a group. We want to be able to set the output. Yeah, definitely reroute. That's not that difficult because it'll be about the same code path as the audio source. I guess setting parameters and then the snapshots will be a bit more difficult. Actually, let's see. Yesterday I was trying to expose like the sound effect volume. I guess it's there, but I don't actually see it in the list. Oh, here, it just shows up right here. So parameter of sound effect. Yeah, and then I can rename it. I guess I'll just call it sound effect volume. Yeah, so I don't know why it's giving me this error. It's kind of annoying. If I play and then exit again, it seems to go away, but I don't really know what that means. I'll need to, I forgot to look it up in between streams yesterday. But anyway, so we have this sound effect volume here, so I guess we can start with that. Oops, looks like I forgot to commit the code. I gotta get used to streaming at this new time. So let's see. I guess I'll go back to this audio command and we'll just add the rest of the commands here in this. Okay, so we're gonna need, I think, 3 different classes. So audio, mixer, set param command. And what do we have here? I guess the mixer ID and the parameter name and the parameter value. I think that they're always a float. Oh, I better look that up. I haven't worked with audio mixers a ton, so okay, so we have the set float and get float. Okay. And then we want to be able to set this output audio mixer, which is pretty simple, and then find snapshot. Okay, so snapshots, the name has to be an exact match, so we'll just use the names instead of converting them to indexes like we did with groups. Snapshot. Okay, it has transition too, which is what we'll want to use. Okay, so that shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so back here, yeah, this will be fine for the set command or set parameter, and then we'll want to have audio mixer snapshot command. And I guess we'll just have the transition period, and this could be 0 just to instantaneously transition. And then the last thing we'll have is audio mixer set output. Okay, what do I want to call this? I guess the output mixer ID, and then the input mixer ID and the input group ID. So basically we route the output of a mixer into some other group, and in order to get that group we'd have to have the input ID. I wonder, no, it can't route into that itself. That wouldn't make any sense. Actually, I wonder how Unity handles circular outputs. Probably we won't need to worry about that though. Okay, so we have these classes set up. I think, again, I'll start from Lua and then work backwards. So we want to have this Git group, and then we'll want to be able to set the output group. So I guess we'll want to get and a set for this. And then this will be void set parameter, and it's always a float, so that's simple. String name and float value. I guess we could have a get parameter, but just like animation, so I don't really know how useful that'll be, and that'll be quite a bit more difficult than trying to do the audio source volume, so I won't worry about it for now. And then finally we'll have okay, so do we want to, I guess this, we might want to wait until the transition's done. So yeah, we'll want to have a dynamic value transition to snapshot. And then the period. Okay, so here it'll be pretty much the exact same as audio source mixer group. I think I'll go ahead and copy this code and use it as a base. Okay, so forget. Well, I guess it's not that difficult. So we'll need to look in sequence for audio. Okay, I should actually change this name because it's looking for an audio mixer group. Is this, because this is kind of like a specific function just for the audio source, so I wonder if I should. Okay, no. Oh, it's only using the mixer in the code I just copied, but yeah, it'd be a little more useful, I think, if we just had like a function that's not so specific. So I enumerable. Okay, let's return type and then find stored, or no, find commands in sequence. Okay, and we'll pass the command type we want to look for. Yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, then we'll search backwards through the list, and if okay, well we can actually ask for a specific type. That'd probably be a little better. So the type, then we'll want to yield the command. Oops. I just want to copy T. I don't know why I can't just type it out. But yeah, we'll just yield the casted command. And we won't even do that. Oh, right. And C# it's yield return. Okay. And then this function, let's just put it actually in the audio source because no other class is going to use it. So we won't need to do this. We'll just need to for each command in link animation scripts, find sequences in the command, and then it'll be the audio property change. And the type is set audio property. And so now it'll look through and give us all commands of this type. So we don't need to have any of these lines of code. I don't need this for either. Okay, so then here I can just remove link.animation scripts and we'll just use our local method. Okay, there we go. Now the reason I did that is because in the audio mixer now I can try and find that specific command I need. And we'll want audio, I guess what's it called? So we're looking for the set output. This would actually be a for each statement now. And the type is stored animation type. Oh yeah, we don't even have the correct enumeration value yet in here. So I want to add audio mixer output. And then I guess it'd be set. And set audio mixer property and audio mixer snapshot transition are the three that we're working on right now. Okay, and that's part of a for each loop. Kind of a long output call, but just because these types are so long, but whatever. So we don't have to check if it doesn't equal null, because in that case, this loop just wouldn't have even... Oh, I think yeah, this logic is a little wrong. I'll need to go fix it, but let's do it here first. So yeah, what we want to check is if this command's mixer group, our output mixer ID is us, then the mixer ID would become the input mixer ID and input mixer group. Okay, and then, so the bug is here, because even if it is in logging state, a command might not have existed yet. And so we don't want to just skip this part. We only want to, but we only want to search for here or query the game logic if there wasn't a command found. So if the mixer ID is still less than 0, then we'll do this. Yeah, which I'll need to make a new query for that, but let's see. So I think pretty much all the queries in the audio source are wrong. Oh, well, no, this is fine. It's just the audio mixer group. Yeah, pitch is okay, because this returns if it finds something, otherwise it returns this. Yeah, so I just need to change this line to if mixer ID is still less than 0. Okay, so we'll need a query for this. I kind of wonder... Like, I don't know if I want to have to create 6 more structures for the query arguments and commands for these 3. Oh, well, I guess I only have to do the mixer group, because we're not supporting get parameter right now, and obviously we won't have to get the current snapshot probably. Although I guess I could see a reason why you'd want to do that, but I'm just not going to worry about it right now. Okay, so audio mixer output query args, and the arguments will just be the output mixer ID, and then the return value would be the 2 input groups, or the input mixer and the input group. Okay, and so this would be audio mixer output query results and query arguments. Okay, why is it not like this? Oh, because this thing is wrong. So our query audio mixer output. Okay, this doesn't exist yet, but I'll take care of that later. Okay, so yeah, that works the same. Once we get the group mixer ID or sorry, the input mixer ID and the input group ID, then we just get the audio mixer group here. Okay, so this is a little more simpler. So set audio mixer output. Okay, and what are the arguments here? I guess it's just, oh yeah, it's the input and output mixer. So the output mixer is us, so just our mixer ID. And then the input mixer ID is what's passed, so it's the value dot mixer ID. And the output or the input group is value dot group ID. And the only thing we have to check is that the audio source mixer group is null. And also, if we are the master audio mixer, which means our mixer ID is 0, you can't set the output here. So also we should check, yeah, if mixer ID is 0, then we'll just return null because master audio mixer has no output. Why is it not like that? Oh, yeah, this is confusing. I should change this to output. Yeah, that's like has the same name as our class variable, or I guess instance variable to use the correct name. Okay, and then I want to change this to our own mixer ID. Yeah, so that would cause a bug. I guess to be even more specific, I'll just say this dot mixer ID, even though it's not needed. Okay, so yeah, so if mixer ID is 0, we'll throw new script. Runtime exception cannot set master mixer output. Maybe we should have something here that like says is master mixer. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so now that's all taken care of. And so set parameter. Okay, first we want to make sure that we are able to, that animations are enabled right now. And then we'll just need to check if the parameter name is not null or empty. Throw new script. Runtime exception, mixer parameters, name cannot be empty or nil. And then we want to check to see if the parameter exists. So let's close some of this up. How do I do that for the animation parameters? Let's look here. I think what happens is we set the animation parameter, and when we try to set it, it will actually return an error. That works, I guess. Oh, I see. So we return an enumeration. And this is actually returned from... Oh, wait. Okay, so it's actually returned by the UX class, this enumeration. But for an audio mixer, they're always floats, so we don't have to do a type mismatch. I guess we'll follow the same strategy there. So if... I don't know, it does work, but I kind of like checking before we actually set the output. So if link animation scripts, query audio mixer parameter exists. That's not how you spell that. And then we'll just have the parameter name, and that will take care of that. Okay, and if it's true, then we can actually set it. Parameter, and then it would be a new audio mixer set parameter command. The mixer ID is just us, and then the parameter is the parameter name and the value. And I just realized I misspelled this. Pararm. There we go. That looks better. And I'll just go ahead and create this function again, and we'll take care of that later. Oh. Okay. Okay, it still did it. I don't know why it said cancel, but whatever. So transition to snapshot, we've got to do something similar. Animation disabled, and we'll want to check to make sure the snapshot name is not null. Oh, and also here I should throw an error. New script. Runtime exception. Mixer, or we'll do a string format for this. Mixer has no property named and then the parameter name. Okay, so I'll copy that as well. So for a snapshot, we'll also need to check if the name exists. I guess we'll just create another function. These are... I'm debating like... I mean, because the output group, the parameters, and the snapshots are all like distinct ideas, but having to create so many little special classes just to get information about them. I kind of wonder if I should try to mix like all these audio mixer things up into one specific command. Let's see. So if I did that, we'd have the mixer ID, and then also we'd have a type. It's kind of like I did for the audio property change. We just had a type and that to find what values we got back. Although we did have some bugs with that, so I don't know if that's the best idea. But it just allows you, like, we only have to have 3 classes to change them and then get the current one. Whereas for audio mixer, like if I wanted to be able to get each of these, all this information, I'd have to create a whole bunch of different arguments. So if I did audio mixer property change, how would that work? I'd have the mixer ID, and then the type, and then I'd have at least a parameter name and a value, and then the snapshot name and a transition period, and then an input. I guess it's really... I mean, there's pros and cons to either way, either method. I think I'm kind of leaning towards combining them just because it's going to cut down on the number of functions that the script handler is going to, or the animation script manager is going to have to deal with, which could make the code cleaner. And I guess if I just name each of these values explicitly and make sure to set them to something negative, then like, because the bug we had with the audio source is that when we tried to get the command and I put the wrong type in here, like I was trying to get the pitch, but I wanted the mixer ID and the group ID, and they were both set to 0 by default. And so when the game got this information, it just treated the mixer ID and the group ID as having being set to 0, 0. When what I really should have done is initialize these to -1 and -1 to refer that they hadn't actually been set because the type was wrong. So I think if I do something like that, I can avoid bugs easily. So yeah, let's change this to... I'm gonna have to change some of the code I just wrote, but it's for the better. So I did audio mixer property change command. I guess I'll keep the same format for names. So should I change this to audio source, since we're gonna have mixer and sources. Okay, so here we'll need to have a new audio mixer property type. I guess I should also change this to audio source property type. Okay, and this will just have the output group, parameter, and snapshot. Okay, so setting a snapshot, well, I guess that still kind of makes sense, although we are technically transitioning to a snapshot, but it'll be okay. So for the change, we just have the mixer ID and parameter name and value, and then snapshot name and transition period. And then the input mixer ID and group. So yeah, there's going to be some values that aren't used, but they'll just be nicer because, like I said, we'll just have one command for all these. Okay, so I want to change this to just audio mixer property query arguments. Okay, and this will just have, oops, I don't know what was being renamed there. So the mixer ID and then the type that we're going to query. And then the result will just have all this. Although right now we're only supporting the mixer and group IDs, so I guess it wouldn't have the transition period, but it would have the current snapshot if we ever do that. So now it will be easy if I ever want to extend this to allow Lua to be able to see the current snapshot or a parameter value. It'll be easy to extend this class to support that, and I won't have to go and change everything in the animation scripts for an extra class, or yeah, an extra use of this. Oh wait, okay, my brain's getting all mixed up. What I was trying to say is that if I ever wanted to add support for another parameter type, it will be easy just to add values in here instead of having to go into the animation script manager and add support for a whole extra structure. Okay, and there's also one other thing we need to check to see if a parameter exists. And we also have to do first see if a snapshot exists. So how do I want to handle that? Okay, I think we're gonna have to have two different types. So this will be the audio mixer set property type, and then we'll also have a separate one for audio mixer get property type. And it'll be kind of the same, but subtly different. So for here, we'll want to get the output group and then parameter exist and a snapshot exist. Okay, in order to do that, we'll also need to have a name for the parameter or snapshot. And then I guess we'll have a Boolean here for exist. This is a weird song. It sounds like a mixture of Yoshi's Island and Star Wars. Okay, so now we're going to need to go and update all this code that I just broke. Okay, so this will be... actually, and now in the stored animation type, we only need to have one property. So set audio mixer property, and I'll change this as well to set audio source property. Okay, so back to here. Audio mixer. Change command. Yeah, this should just be mixer ID as well. That got messed up when I noticed that the variables were overriding each other. Okay, this is a bit confusing because it says input, but we're setting it to output. Yeah, so I guess I'll just change these all to input. This is like the mixer that our output is being input into. Although I guess you could think of it both ways. Okay, so we'll just say query audio mixer property. Well, I guess I'll rename it. And then we'll want to change the type to output group. Okay. And here, this just needs to change to audio mixer property change command. All right. What's it not like? Oh, it doesn't support that type anymore, I think. Cannot convert. Okay. Set audio mixer properties, what this should actually be. Okay, I'm gonna need to clean up some stuff in here. That one's not needed. Okay, so this should go down here, and I need to rename this to audio source. And then the setting command should also down here. Again, set audio source. Let's see. Oh, I know why. I forgot to change the... These songs are a bit too energetic for programming. Okay, so this I just need to query audio mixer property. And okay, so now I need to actually send something through, and this is a bit too confusing. All right, so bool param exists equals link animation scripts query audio mixer property, and we'll create the new one, or the new argument class here. And so the mixer ID is just, again, our mixer ID. And the name is parameter name, and that's all we have to send. So if I can actually find the comma key. Okay, now that goes back to being one line, but it's not happy with this. Audio mixer property result to Boolean. Okay. Oh yeah, this returns a result, and so now we have to just get the exists. Return value. Okay, and this is set audio mixer property. And I need to set the type to... Again, I'm having trouble finding the punctuation with my fingers for some reason today. And there we go. Guess I'll copy this because it's going to be nearly the same for a snapshot. Except I want to test if the snapshot name exists. Oh, I need to also pass the type in here. Oh, this is the wrong type too. I created this but didn't actually use it. Okay, so this is now the get property type, and it should be snapshot exists. And here, oh wait, no, this is not snapshot, this is parameter exist. And then here I just need to change this to get property type output group. Okay, so that's all fixed. And here we're checking if a snapshot exists, and if it does, then we'll set it here. Oh, not a semicolon, I always do that. And then the transition period is that. And I guess we'll need to make sure the transition period is not negative. It can be 0 because that would just mean that we transition immediately. Yeah, so not string. Period is less than 0. We'll throw new script. Runtime exception. Snapshot transition period cannot be negative. Okay, and then Mixer has no snapshot. Okay, I also need to change this to snapshot name. Oh, right, and it needs, yeah, we need to set up a return, what's it called? A wait handle. Okay, so let me see how I did that with audio sources, because they have one when you play an audio source. I mean, this will basically just function as a timer, but just for ease of use, we might as well support it for the mod authors. Okay, so yeah, we just set up asynchronous request. And we'd only want to do it if oh, not set parameter. If the snapshot exists, so only down here. So dynamic value Lua return and int wait handle. Okay, so yeah, this property change command needs to have a wait handle just for the snapshot. Okay, and then at this point we'd return Lua return, and we don't have to return anything any other time because it always will throw an error. Okay, so I think we're all good here. Now the animation script manager, I just need to set up these two functions. Okay, so we just need to have another query. So instead of querying an audio source, we'll query an audio mixer. Again, I just need to rename that. And set up these types. Okay. No, where was that function? All right. So all we have to do is just, this is basically just a go between function because I didn't want the audio mixers to have to get a handle on this query themselves. Oh yeah. It's a big long variable name. And there we go. And then down here, I can just copy this. Okay, and if we're in a mixer state, then we change this to audio mixer property. All right, and so the wait handle could be not, I mean, it could exist if the command is Yeah, so if the command dot type is snapshot, then we'd use command wait handle, otherwise it's -1. Because snapshot's the only one that has a wait handle. That's a little confusing. So int wait handle is -1. If command dot type is snapshot, then the wait handle equals the command. That's not right. Only snapshots transitions have a wait handle. Okay, I think, yeah, the existence of the wait handle is one reason why I separated play and stop audio outside of setting an audio property. But I put them in separate commands. I could have done that with snapshot, but I mean, this works too. Like I said, there's pros and cons to each. And this class is starting to get big enough that I kind of want to minimize the number of functions it has. Okay, so set audio mixer property. Okay, and again, I just did audio and not source. Okay, so I just gotta get one more command. I think this might be the last one we have to do in the animation system. Okay, and I didn't rename that probably because there was a naming conflict. Oh, missing the O. There we go. Oh, I don't support audio stop here, do I? Stop command stored animation dot command. And then animation type set audio mixer property. So, okay, there we go. And then break. And then here I just got a... Oh, right. Oh, come on. Command audio mixer property. I just gotta send this command over to the R3, the proper channel, so that whatever class will actually handle setting this audio mixer property can do it. And that's the next thing we'll program. But there's one other. Yeah, the execution manager, it sets up the wait indexes during the action execution phase, and so we'll need to have a bit of a special handling for a set audio mixer property. Or actually, it would be exactly the same as audio play because it only it's like a conditional wait command. It only happens if the stored is not -1. So what is it? Set audio mixer property. Yeah, because audio play does not always have a wait handle, because if we play a looping sound, we won't wait for that. This doesn't do timers, does it? Yeah. Yeah, timers always have a wait handle. Alright, I was just checking to see if I forgot anything else. Don't... I have a couple others. Animation. Yeah, and wait, signal. Yeah, they always have a wait handle. Yeah, this waits for an animation state to exit, and then this waits for a signal from an animation script. Yeah, so I just completely forgot about this code, but it'd be almost nice to move it into the animation script manager, but this doesn't really have anything to do with a script. So I just need to remember if I ever add any more animations that will need to come in here. But I mean, really, I can't think of much else. Okay, so we're done with everything except for the UX classes, and this will just be the audio mixer, property setter, and property getter. And I think I called it the inspector and the setter, so I'll just use the same name. Okay, let's see. I guess I might as well copy this the audio source inspector and use it as a base. And of course I just call it the audio property inspector. I didn't think too far ahead when I was naming these classes, did I? Okay, so yeah, I don't need this because I just tied in the existence query with the rest of it. I won't need that, and I won't need the models, but I will need the database. Okay, so yeah, here I set initialization values for everything. Which yeah, was a good idea. So exists equals false, input mixer ID is -1, and input group ID is -1. Okay, and I don't need that. Although I guess I will need the audio mixer, so audio mixer equals database audio mixers args.mixer ID. Then we actually get the mixer instead of the metadata. Will we need the metadata? We might. Yeah, because we'll have to find this audio mixer group. I guess this should be a static class because I'm going to use the same function. Do we already? Yeah, I already have an animator helper. Oh gosh, I spelled this all wrong. I guess it's not too bad. I just forgot an A. Normally I don't like to mess with renaming classes, but since I misspelled that, that'll bother me for the rest of the game if I don't. Okay, so how do I want to handle this? Yeah, I think just moving this to an outside static class will be good. So audio mixer group matcher, I guess. It doesn't need to be public, but it should be static. And all that will do is just have this function. And no reason for it to be private. Okay, and we know it works, so I'm gonna delete these. Well, we need to pass the game data, I guess. Okay, and instead of return the result itself, we'll just return out int mixer ID and out int group ID. And so if we're gonna have an out variable, we have to initialize them or it will complain. So mixer ID set to -1 at the beginning. Okay. So the audio property inspector, I don't want to have a copy of this function right here. And then we'll just change this to the audio mixer group matcher dot find audio mixer group. I wonder, can I just, I don't know if I can use these variables inside the structure, but that would be nice. Okay, I think it is going to let me. Oh yeah, and I have to pass database. There we go, and I can just change this to find because the class makes it pretty obvious what it's trying to find. There we go. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the mixer, I guess. I don't know if it's going to be needed for all these, but okay, so the first is output group. And here we just call the audio mixer group matcher find. Okay, so here we actually have to get the group, so. Oh wait, no. We use the mixer output. Yeah, so results, input mixer ID, and there we go. So that's pretty easy because we just use the same code as I wrote yesterday. The parameter exist. Is this, I don't even know if this is possible to find because it was difficult enough to find it in the, for the animations. Let me look. So here I could look through animation control parameter. Okay, so there was a class for it. Okay, if the parameter doesn't exist, it returns false. How does that work? Oh, it has an out float. Okay. So I guess that's how we do. We just try it. Well, we don't want to set it. I mean, we don't. Oh, yeah, we can use it. We can just say get float. And then we return. We just would discard the actual value. Yeah, so that works. For some reason I was thinking I'd have to actually set it, but no, we don't need to. Okay, well that's actually easier than the animator, so thank you, Unity. So we'll just need this dummy variable and Since we're going to create that, I'm just going to wrap this in curly braces so this variable won't go outside the scope. Okay, so int current value. So I guess we could easily get the value of a parameter if we wanted, but I don't think it's really needed. Well, since I already here, should I just add it? Because what if I need it later, then I'll have to go and figure out all the code. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be very useful. Because in my experience, I've never actually wanted to see what the value is. I've always just wanted to set it. But anyway, yeah, so I guess if I ever want to do that, it's not that difficult to figure out. I think that my code is relatively easy to read the way that I've mixed or tried to compartmentalize everything. Oh, what am I doing? So mixer dot get float. And this is the args name. And then out current value, which we don't actually use. Oh yeah, should be a float. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then snapshot. Let's take a look. So we have this find snapshot. I guess we don't really know. Supposedly it would return null if there isn't one. I guess we'll just need to test it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it now. Because if it throws an error, then we'd have to change how this code works. So let's see. I guess just in the audio asset organizer. Let's just debug log. Oh. Debug log. Audio mixer dummy snapshot. And I'll just use the global one since it's easy to get. Find snapshot. Oh. Okay, so I don't have any snapshots, and I definitely don't have one named dummy. So hopefully this will either return null, which would be probably best, or throw some error that I can actually catch. A lot of times Blender, or not Blender, Unity has kind of annoying tendency to just debug a log if it can't actually find an object. So it's not really very easy to catch that error because it's not a real error, it's just a console log. But we'll see how it handles this. Once it's done compiling, that is. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if I go back up, audio mixer dummy snapshot. Okay, and it didn't do anything. I should have wrapped it in. Okay, well, I guess that means it's null, but it could be something else. Well, I guess it has to be null because otherwise it would have returned a snapshot, so. I guess just to be super sure, let's do this, because I don't want to write something and then find out it's false later and spend forever debugging. Okay, no, it's still loading, so it's before that. Oh. Oh, well, I think I messed this up, didn't I? Because now it was just testing the entire string. I actually just want to test that. Order of operations are important. Okay, so yeah, it is null. Good, good. That's what I was hoping. Okay, so now we can just call, well, I guess if it has a snapshot. Well, we're just checking if it's existing. We don't actually need to return it, so result dot exists equals mixer find snapshot. And it exists if this does not equal null. And probably in the Lua interface, I should make sure, because it seems like the snapshot names are case sensitive, because Unity emphasizes that they have to be exactly the same. So it's probably a good idea if I put that in the log, or the error, because most of my stuff is not case sensitive. But I don't know exactly how Unity handles it, so. Okay, so now we are done with getting the different audio mixer properties, so I need to actually set them. And luckily, that will be almost exactly the same. Audio mixer, property, oh gosh, property setter. No typos as far as I can see. And I think I'll just copy and paste. Although, actually, it'd probably be better if I copied this class. And again, I won't need the models. Okay, and this is audio mixer set property command. Is that not what it's called? Did I make a typo? Oh, I think it's property change command. Yeah, there we go. All right, so audio mixer equals database audio mixers command dot mixer ID. Yeah, let's just get rid of all this. Oh, what's it not like? Set property type. The output group be mixer dot output audio mixer group is audio mixers command dot mixer ID groups command dot group ID. Oh yeah, and I should change this to input mixer ID because it's otherwise going to look at itself. Speaking about that, I should make sure that the user doesn't try to route an audio mixer into itself, because I don't think that would be good. So if mixer ID is the value dot mixer ID. Throw new script. Runtime exception cannot set an audio mixer's output group to one of its own groups. Okay, so that looks good. Probably Unity would even throw an error, but okay, I don't want to change that. That's the audio source. Okay, and so parameter mixer set float command parameter name and command parameter value. And snapshot is a little more involved because we have a wait handle. Yeah, so let's see. Well, first we'll just say get our find snapshot command snapshot name, and I guess I need to store that. And I'll put it in brackets so that these variables don't cascade down the switch command. Okay, I don't know. Okay, it's called audio mixer snapshot. And then we'll just have transition to command dot transition period. And so it's basically just a timer. So private class timer public float time left and wait handle. I guess we'll need to have a list of these. Okay, and I'm going to need to have a tick function. I should probably just copy the code out of something that already does this because there is some finesse to it. We got the linear mover, that's what I was looking for. And then we just subscribe. Let's put at the beginning before we start getting values. Okay, so if there's more than one timer, or if there's any timers, I guess. Oh, I didn't make this a list. There we go. So if there's any timers, then we need to, again, go backwards because we might remove some from the list. And the easiest way to do that is if you go backwards. We don't really need a helper function because this is going to be very simple. So timers I dot time left minus equals delta time. And if timers I is less than or equal to 0, then it's done. And so you just, okay, so we need to have this wait handle command, but yes, that'll be timer wait handle. Okay, I'm kind of breaking one of my rules. Like whenever I access an array element more than once, I try to actually pull the value out of it because it just makes it easier to read. Okay, so now we need that wait handle release. I could just copy from there. Right, I don't need this function at all. Okay, so all this does is just decrement the timer, and whenever it reaches below 0, which means the timer is over, we send this message back to the animation system saying that this wait is complete, and then we just remove the timer from the list. So yeah, pretty simple. And that's just because snapshot has this transition period and we want to let the game know when it's done. But actually, okay, so I don't actually add a timer yet, so I better do that. But we only have to do this if the transition period is greater than 0. Well, no, we need to do it at any time because there's always a wait handle associated with it. But in that case, well, no, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, so even if it is an instant transition, it still has a wait handle attached to it, which is a little weird, but I think it would be confusing if sometimes the snapshot didn't have a wait handle and sometimes it did. Okay, yeah, so anyway, time left is just the transition period. And the wait handle is this. I guess we could future-proof this, that if the wait handle is greater than or equal to 0, we would set this, otherwise we wouldn't worry about it. So if I ever wanted to change it so that sometimes we don't have a wait handle, then this code would already be ready to deal with that. Alright, so I think we're done here. So now, yeah, I've created all the classes, so I just need to test it. I need to actually add these new setter classes to the... Oh, I gotta instantiate them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So... So audio mixer property inspector. And audio mixer property setter. There we go. Alright, so now I need to test it. And what would be the best way? Well, I guess I'll get this audio mixer and then let's just do one at a time. The easiest one would be the output audio group, although I only have one audio mixer, so I guess I can switch the group around. So we'll basically use the same code except with the test content sound effect. Okay, well, let's just do print first. We might want to get blip, so I'll leave that there. Local mixer. So we'll want to print out the mixer group, and then, except I think I call it output group, don't I? Okay, yeah, these prints, I don't need them anymore. I'll go ahead and delete them here because that was just for testing. Okay, so we have the mixer output group. Now I want to set it to the master sound effect. Well, this is kind of interesting. It's trying to set it to itself. It'll throw an error. I guess we'll leave that in real quick to see if the error works. Okay, so yeah, it says attempt to index a nil value. That's not what I was expecting. So audio mixer, master, group, sound effect. At least that is right. What's this? Okay. So yeah, that is right. It's trying to get the first group of the master sound effect. Okay, so that did work right, but it got an error at 63. Oh, because I was trying to call blip. Change that to mixer. Okay, so yeah, cannot set an audio mixer's output group to one of its own groups, and that's right. So master sound effect. Okay, because that's what it is initially set to. So I guess we want to switch this up. Then it tries to set it to itself, which doesn't work. So the master has master music and sound effect. So I guess we can just try to set it to all of them. Okay, so it should go sound effect, then master, then music. And since we can't actually inspect this mixer, I can't see like what it's set to in code. But yeah, sound effect, master, music. So it works according to Lua. If we go into the debug, yeah, see, I see the audio mixers here, but then the test content sound effect mixer I can't actually inspect. So I can't see what its output group is. One way we can test though is if I just look at the master mixer and see where the audio is coming out of. That's why I wanted to get the blip. So we'll play the blip every time. Blip dot play. And I guess I want to do a coroutine so it doesn't like play them all at once. Teen yield play. Well, I want to print this out before we play it. Okay, and since the blip is our routes into the test content sound effects mixer, whenever we set the test content mixer's output group, it will also route into one of the master audio mixer's output groups, and that's how we can make sure that this is actually being changed. So the first one should be in sound effect, and then it should be in the master group, and then the music group. One other thing to keep in mind is that sound effect and music also route into the master group themselves. So when it's in sound effect, you'll see music or sound come out of both of them. But that is to be expected. Okay, it did work. You see, the first one was in these two, second one in here, and then the third one was in those two. Okay, good to see. So I guess we're done with that. Now setting parameter. That shouldn't be too difficult to test either. I can't print it out because I don't support getting a parameter, but the blip should change in audio as I change the volume. Well, yeah, so I'm going to actually change the expose parameter for a sound effect, so we'll see this value go up and down, so that'll be easy to test. So now I want to get the master mixer. Actually, I don't do that. I'll just call get master audio mixer. I guess I'll keep it capitalized. I'll do this because I'll just print nil, just a test. Okay, so then we'll play the blip and now I'll set the audio. So mixer set parameter. And it's sound effect volume. Let's set it to 0, so it'll be muted effectively. Or wait, actually, I think 0 is... Yeah, 0 would actually be full volume. And then I'll set it to 20. Well, no, I don't want to burn everyone's eardrums. I'll set the last one to -40, and so we'll see. And then we'll play it again. Alright, so let's test that real quick. And so we should see the volume slider change as the sound plays. This volume slider. And it does, so at 20 and then 0, then -40, and the actual sounds volume changed as we went, so. Actually, I wanted to see what the print was. Yeah, Lua nil. Okay, that's what I thought would happen because the master has no audio output group. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is a snapshot. I actually haven't worked with snapshots a whole lot, but so this should be fun. Oh yeah, except the audio mixer is gonna not be happy with me. Okay, so I'll just name this default, and then we'll just have test. And so for the test snapshot, let's add low pass. I'll just leave it at the volume, at the default, and I'll set the volume to 0. And so both of these should change. Yeah, if we switch snapshots. Oh, I thought the low pass would be disabled here. Okay, I guess snapshots don't turn them on and off. They actually just change the values. Let's see. So in default, okay, I'm not sure. Okay, well, I don't know exactly how that works with snapshots. I need to play around with audio mixers. They're relatively new. But at least we'll see the sound effect change, or the volume changing. I guess I can also up the pitch in the test snapshot. Okay. So I'm gonna need to play and then exit to get this error to go away. Okay, so again, we'll yield that and then we'll transition, and I guess I'll do coroutine. Well, no, we'll need to play the noise actually, because test blip doesn't loop, so we won't actually be able to hear the sound changing as we go. So I think it's pink noise. Yeah, and we'll just. Well, I guess I want to stop it when we're done. So noise, play, and then we get the audio mixer, and we'll want to yield while we transition to the next. So mixer dot Transition to snapshot and test. Is that right? Okay, transition to snapshot. Okay, and then set parameter. Okay, we won't want to do that. So the whole time this is going on, the noise is playing, so we're just going to transition back to default when that's done. And then we'll stop the noise. Okay, so now it should like... Oh, I didn't actually pass a parameter. So I think what would have happened is it would have been instantaneous, but I actually want to test it first. Let's put 3 seconds. And so what should happen is the pitch should go up and the volume should go up and the pitch should go up as it transitions to the snapshots over 3 seconds. We'll test it out and see. Yep, and it did work. Okay. I'm surprised that everything's going so smoothly. Cool. Okay, so one other thing, I guess, let's just test transitioning instantly. I mean, we're not going to really see anything happen, but I want to make sure that it doesn't throw an error. Yeah, so it just went instantaneous. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we're actually done with audio. Okay, no, I want to do music real quick. So let me see. I don't actually have music files, so I guess we'll just use that white noise for now. Obviously, I won't keep it on. But what I want to do... Yeah, this should be good. We have about 15 minutes to be able to finish it up. Actually, I'm not really sure how I want it to work. I'm thinking that the script should be able to register some music during load time, and then the game would just play them. And then obviously the script at some point would be able to change the music whenever it wanted. Because the music is just set up through the audio mixer system like usual. And in order to handle that, we might want to have like pre-action scripts or something, but like a script that would play right before the combat starts in case there's like some kind of special battle music. But we'll, that sounds like a pretty good idea actually. Where should I? It doesn't really fit anywhere in here, but let's see. Pre and post action phase scripts. Because right now I have a script that plays after loading and then a script that plays at the beginning of every turn. But I probably should have one that plays before action animations and after action animations. But we can add those in later. But yeah, I got off on a tangent. So basically I'll just want to have like a separate registry for music and probably a couple different tags because maybe some music would play during the team building phase and then some music would play like during the actual game. And mods won't really be, or maybe they would be active at that point. Well, when does the post-loading script run? Because then it could just start music. Let's see. Yeah, here should be somewhere. Load script runner, okay. Yeah, so this runs the onload functions. Okay, so it's after the assets are organized, that makes sense. But before we do the ready check. And then I guess we'd have probably, we need a script that runs like the very first time that you enter the play phase as well. And that could start like play phase music. I think I need another. Okay, let's see. Lua scripting. Pre and let's just say more function calls. So pre action, execution phase, and then post action, and then enter team building and enter play. We want both of those for music mostly. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. And that's not going to be that difficult to add. So if we're going to do that, we don't really need to have a special music player because the game can just, or the Lua scripts can control when and how music plays using those scripts. So I guess the only thing we'll need to do is some audio sources should be able to play outside of the animation phases if they're tagged as music. And if they are tagged as music, then they should only be able to play when music is active. Okay, so I guess what we'll need to do is add another option. To allow what about if they want to play like a sound effect file or something? I'm just thinking like, should I decouple audio completely from animations? Well, no, because some sound obviously is part of the animation system. So I guess whether a sound is part of the animation system really depends on what script it's called in. Because if it's called in an animation script, or a log animation script, then it needs to be treated as animation. Otherwise, there's not really any problem. Well, we don't want to like play sound during some like just a logic thing like pathfinding. So allow sound. Okay, so here is audio disabled. Okay, well I guess I'm going to use the name audio. I should try to be consistent. so, okay. We have the animations get audio. But should I have another way to get audio that's not tied to the animation system? I think maybe I should, instead of having this in here, I should just get have a separate audio class. It wouldn't really, I mean, because none of this uses anything in this animations class, so it wouldn't be that difficult to add. I'm just trying to think, would it be confusing? Because we'd still be able to tie the audio into the animation system. Well, I guess I would just know that if we're in animation logging, then the audio just wouldn't play right away, and it would go into the animation sequence. So yeah, really, it's not that much more confusing. And it always was a little weird that I put audio in animations because it's not exactly the same. Okay, so I guess the only other problem I can think of with this is that would something mess up if in the animation script manager, does anything even use this function anymore? No. Okay, well that kind of answers my question because it never cares if allow animations is on. It just trusts whatever calls it. Okay, so yeah, what I'll do, I'll just make a separate audio class in here. And I guess let's update these functions. So instead of just calling animations get audio mixer, I just call audio. And I guess I could change this to get source and get mixer. And then we would just yield. Yeah, so this would actually be the exact same. And then in the ability scripts, instead of calling animations, where is it? Get audio, it would just be audio, get source, play. And then since we're in a logging script, the audio would know not to play actually right away. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay, so this is Moon Sharp user data, which I say this all the time, but this tag just means that we signal to our Lua compiler that we're okay with Lua being able to use this class. And we also want to hide constructors from Lua because we don't want the Lua scripts to be able to actually create new instances of this class. And in order to hide the default constructor, we just have to kind of have a dummy there. But we actually want to use this one that takes the game link as a reference. And the game link is just the Lua interface class's link to the rest of the game logic. Okay, I have a little bit of time, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. But really, all we're going to do is just copy these classes out of the animation system. And I think that's all I'm going to have to change for the most part. I'll change this to get source, and then get mixer and get master mixer. And I don't have to change, well, an audio source, I guess. Some of this stuff I need to make sure. Like we have is animation disabled, so I should change this to is audio disabled. Then is action logging active is still the same. Okay, so is audio disabled. And in the audio mixer, I'll do the same thing. And the reason I'm doing this is because, like I said, audio can run at more times than when animation can run, so. The one thing I could see is that, like, I could try to get source off of a model before it's loaded, and how would we deal with that? I guess what would happen is that the model ID would return. Well, it would return the data index, but this get audio ID would return null, wouldn't it? Yeah, because audio ID wouldn't exist because it's not loaded yet. Which is fine. Has it been loaded? Oh no, I won't do that because that could be. So yeah, there are no errors that will happen. Well, a script runtime error will happen, but no errors that are my fault. It's just because the user tried to call this before that model was created, which is fine. So you'd only want to call a global source. Well, actually, the global source might not have been created or generated yet either, so I'll have to think about that. So what happens? No, that's not the right thing. Yeah, so we look in the global audio. And if nothing's here, then we would, again, just return. Yeah, it does not exist because I was trying to call it too early. So we will need to instantiate. I guess we'll need to instantiate global audio before loading. So let me instantiate global audio during the loading phase. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal, actually. So it is available to scripts before the play phase. Okay, that's not difficult. Okay, so I'll do that, but let's, I need to wrap up the stream, so let's do one more test. I'll just, let's bring this back. Oh, I thought I had the play, but no, I just have the mixer groups. We'll just test during an action, I think. But really, I haven't changed anything. Oh, except yeah, I need to enable audio during certain scripts. So let me look. Let's look in the allow animations. And for now, anything that allows animations also will allow audio. So the after turn effect, the new turn, and also the selection action. This is when action logging is active. Okay, that's after turn effect. Okay, so otherwise if I hadn't enabled that, it would have said audio is not active at this time. Which I need to go and update those errors actually. Okay, so let's just do a move command really quickly. Okay, no, something's wrong. Attempt to index a nil value at line 44. Okay, so it's actually a script thing and not something in Lua or in C#. So get source user jump. Oh, I haven't set the audio. Well, okay, I need to actually leave, so I don't need special handling for music, so I'll take that out. But let's just do this. Test one turn of actions, and then update wrong phase errors and audio Lua interface. Says animations are disabled instead of audio. So yeah, we'll just do these 3 quick things. They'll be pretty simple, and then tomorrow we'll move on to the egg dino. Yeah, we need to actually make some good animations for it, and I still want to update the colors and maybe a bit of modeling on it, and then we'll have shader, which I've actually, this should be pretty fun to implement. But I think that's it for me for today. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. I'm glad that this new time is working out. I think it will be good for me too. So yeah, feel free to, of course, follow me here on Twitch. And I also have a Twitter and a YouTube where I post old or all it's a stream backup. So if you missed anything, you can see it there. And then of course I have a Discord server. We'd love to have you. But I'll post links in chat, and also you can look in my video description. And I should be back tomorrow at around noon Eastern, and I hope to see you there. All right, bye-bye.